This video is going to be on a safe and consistent setup for Beakbombing the Grabba Jiggy in Gobi's Valley. I'll demonstrate first and then go into why it's fast and safe. These principles can probably be applied to 100%, but I have not spent the time to actually find the setup for it. So that's what the setup looks like. Alright, so let's go into what the setup is. So normally you would not run directly to this flight pad, but we do take off from this flight pad in order to go grab a Jiggy in this category. Alright, so from this flight pad, there is that star door that I want to aim for. That's the door of the water temple. Aiming straight for it from takeoff, and then beakbombing as soon as possible is basically the cue I use. And then there are two dark spots on the wall, which I'll highlight in a sec. Oops, I accidentally rat-tat-rapped out of that one. So, the two dark spots, it's kind of hard to see, but they're right near the top of the screen right now. You want to aim for those for your second beak bomb, and you want to do that beak bomb also as soon as possible. So as soon as you get those spots lined up. So, why is this safe? So, as you can see, it's very fast, as you're doing two beak bombs right away and basically instantly grabbing the Jiggy, if done correctly. However, if you're a slight bit off, either too high, too far left, or too far right, as you'll see here in a second. So we'll go too high and too far to the right. What ends up happening is Grabba comes out of his thing. When Grabba's out of his, first comes out, you have to actually get fairly close to him to come out. But after he does, he actually stays out for any distance. So what this allows us to do is kind of back away from him and then turn back, and gives us plenty of time to set up our beak bomb. And I miss it. Yeah, let's try that again. It gives you additional time to set up to line up this beak bomb versus trying to beak bomb him right when he comes up. So this is actually really desirable for new people. This is actually sort of the beginner strat that I used to suggest to people is, oh, just beak bomb close to him to activate him, and then back off and beak bomb towards him again. Alright, so let's try that again. That's too high. It'll activate him, so kind of fly away, maybe do a couple flaps. And then we can line up, beak bomb, grab the Jiggy. So there's no risk of us landing if we're too high. Just as comparison for how a lot of people I see doing this trick. So there we probably did about 8 flaps, we would say, after our second beak bomb, in order to line up for the actually grabbing the Jiggy. What I see a lot of people doing here is something like this. They'll beak bomb directly towards the Jiggy, and then they'll sort of fly towards it until Grabba comes up, and then they'll beak bomb. This is about 10 or 12 flaps, 10 to 12 flaps I would say, before he actually starts coming up. So even though you're grabbing it first try, this is still slower than beak bombing again to get him up, backing off, and giving yourself that extra time to actually line up. So this is very beginner friendly. Okay, so that's all good and dandy, but what if we're a little bit too low on this? What happens then? Well, surprisingly, you can still grab that Jiggy, and without taking any damage, and it makes your route slightly longer because you got to get back to a flight pad. but you'll see in a sec. So if we're too low, let's say like that, game lags really bad, which means Banjo moves faster, which means we have plenty of time and speed to jump up and grab that Jiggy. From here, we can make our way to the flight pad, open Ruby's pyramid, and then continue the route as normal. So, why is this good? Obviously, I beaked bomb pretty low there, and we didn't take any damage. Normally, if you're trying to beak bomb on Grabba coming up, like I tend to see people doing, if you miss or beak bomb too low, you'll tumble and take damage. With this category, especially in gobies, up until about water pyramid, health is very critical. If you lose any health, you really have to scramble in order to find additional health. So this is actually really nice. We're guaranteed to grab the Jiggy, and we're guaranteed not to lose any health. It's guaranteed to either be faster or equal to in time, unless you beak bomb too low, in which case it's still going to be faster than if you were to miss with the other method. So I hope that more people will use this setup, and I hope that I did an okay job of explaining it. If you have any more questions, feel free to comment, and good luck with your speedruns. Alright, later guys.